weird happened. Something weird happened with my thing. Let's see. Can you guys see okay? Is anybody there? I don't see anybody. I know there's a bit of a delay. Anybody here yet? Hello! Say hello if you're here. I can't see myself yet, but I'm sure you guys can see it. Hello, Barb. Hello, Mural. How do you get her off?
Yes.
Unhook her and then rehook her. Oh. I'm on a live right now, sweetheart.
I know. Okay. I want to say hello.
Oh, okay. Just say hi, baby. I'm not changing the camera.
Hi.
Angle.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know what is happening. Hello, peoples. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know why, but my what's not working. My laptop's not working. It's really weird. Like it showed up and then it stopped showing up. It's very weird. I was gonna try to see what you guys see, but okay. All right, so I'm gonna show you how I bake my t-shirt quilts. I do things a little differently than some traditional people make t-shirt quilts. I have been making t-shirt quilts for 5-6 years now, and I have made lots and lots and lots of t-shirt quilts. So this is the method that I have adapted that works best for me. It might be different for other people, and that's okay. Like I said, there's no like wrong or right way to do it. This is just the best way I know how to do it for myself. So what I do is this particular quilt had a lot of uneven rows, so this is actually a column. So this is like straight up and down. So I'm going to be sewing on the bottom and tops of the quilt, not the sides of the quilt. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, let me move you guys back just a tiny bit. There you go, so you guys can see more of this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to move this right here so I can get a little comfortable, and then this is my pile. I know that this is the top of the approved layout, so I don't have to worry about like trying to figure out and remembering which one is what. So for me, okay, I remember this one, and then this one here, we're going to be actually cutting off some of it because this one we really have to condense the amount of it. So all I do here is literally just take my scissors and cut. It doesn't have to be perfect, but close to straight would be great. If you need to write out a line, do so. I can't quite see where I'm cutting over there, so I have to do it over here. I changed my camera angle. So this one here. All right, so
really
we've got
hard.
that. Really?
Yes, next time, would you mind just doing your one hook?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know she did it to the 2 hooks.
No,
right.
no, I mean like 2 knots.
Dwight Jr., I need you to get Luna,
sorry.
please. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart.
Can I please grab something to eat?
That's fine, Dwight, if that's what you need to do to grab Luna. All right, so I'm going to make a line. Okay, Dwight, I'm on a live, honey. Okay. Draw the line and then cut on the line. So this is the half block size originally. And now I'm pretty much making it into less than a third size. I could have gotten it out and everything, but I needed it smaller than that. Okay, so I did that. Now what I'm doing, let me see. I just want to make sure I could see chat in case you guys ask any questions. Live chat. Awesome, thank you. Awesome, okay. So I go like this, and then so what I like to do to just make sure I know which way I'm going, I like to make sure I lay it the right way and then put it on top of each other. All right, so now what I'm going to do is serge it all together. So all I do is get a starting point. Like, I know that this bottom block is wider than the other ones just because I was afraid for these side things, but I know now that I have plenty of room over here, and over here is going to be on the side, so it's totally okay for me to literally start it from this side. Okay. Now you can pin or clip or do anything like that you want to. I generally only do the very beginning. And what I like to do is make sure that the top here and the side are even. And then that means the rest of it's going to be even. Okay, lift up my foot. Put my foot back down. Put my pedal back because Luna grabbed my pedal. All right. Okay. Okay. Just make sure it's all lined up. I'm not shaving much off, very little. Okay, so that's the first one. So what I like to do now is so that I know that this is the top of the row or column. I'm gonna go ahead and do that and clip it. Like so. All right, so now I know, right, that this is the next top one, and then this is the next one under it. So I'm going to put this together like so. And this one I'm probably going to cut off a little bit more because I have more excess. Another way you can do it is if you just line it up like so, and I know I need to get rid of that much of the white, then I can do that. Line it up, make sure this is lined up because that makes me a straight line. Lift it just to kind of get it started there. Put it back down. And this is what I was talking about last week, I think it was, or the other day, when I was saying that I serge my edges. And I just set it so that it doesn't do a rolled hem or anything fancy. It's just a regular tight stitch. Okay, so I did those two. So now I know that this one is going to go next, and this one's going to go on top of this one. So this is another one of those ones that needs to be cut down. But what I'm going to do is exactly what I did with the other one. So see, that's going to be straight. Now is I'm going to line up the white on the purple. I'm doing it on my lap, sorry guys. So then that way when I serge, I'm serging, actually I need to do it a little bit closer, like that. Let me see. Yep. And the reason I'm doing this is because this particular row has 9 blocks and the rest of them have 8 blocks. And I had to squeeze it in. So this particular block being the longest one, if I condense everything to fit this one column, then the rest I can do the same way. Okay. So again, the bottom one at the top, this one goes on top of this one, and then this is my odd one out because remember I said I have 8 out of 9. I have 9 blocks instead of 8. So it's an odd number. Okay. All right. I'm gonna come down a little bit because I know that for me, right, I need to serge it right there. Because on the other side, that gives me enough space. Yep, and it's all going the right direction. Okay, good. So if you need to, you can always pin or clip, whatever is easiest for you. This one I am going to clip because I don't want it getting kind of wonky on me. I know where I need to serge to cut it off. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to go right here and I'm cutting at that black, that little line that I did. Okay. Sometimes if you don't pop your foot up, it kind of like tucks under, so you kind of have to, because the blade starts before it actually starts sewing, so you really need to make sure it's tucked in there. I can also see where the design is on this side, so I know that I'm not close to the design. Okay. So now I've done that, and I'm going to take this one off for just a second, because this is the one that the last one goes onto, so I want to make sure it goes like this. Okay, so see that? How I took off a lot of it, but I didn't cut too much of that. All right, so now we're going to go to this, put this down, and then back up. So this one I'm just going to cut a little bit of the red, not too much of the red, more of the, just a little bit to kind of get everything lined up. You guys would be super proud of me because I actually did homework and I have things prepped so that I could actually show you the entire process of what I do. Well, close to the entire process. I kind of showed you how I did the sandwiching last week. Was it last week or the week after before that? I don't know. Whenever I did the baby quilt, that's how I did my sandwiching. I don't remember exactly. Okay. Lift up the foot. Put that down. Okay. All right, so there we go. I know this is my bottom block, right? So I'm going to put a different color pin or some kind of indicator down here to know that I know that this is the bottom block. Just something to give me something to remember. All right, so I'm going to put that aside for just a second, and now I'm going to start back up with my first block. All right, so now that that's like that, I panicked for like 2 seconds. I was like, wait a minute, why is that doing that? Because I forgot to take the pin out. Okay, so there we go. And I put that upside down, even after I showed you guys how to do it right. Okay, seam ripping. When you're seam ripping surged edges, it's better to kind of get into the loops here and then just kind of take off one of the loops. Good thing I caught that before I went too far. I'd have been really upset if I put all of this together and been like, no. Okay. All right. So now you pull it open like you do before, like you do with a normal unstitching or seam ripping. Once I took that loop off from the back, it gives me the ability to open this up and go like this. Before, it would have really resisted and it wouldn't do it as well. Oh, I lost people. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's get back to this. So I'm just going to finish this one column and then I'm going to show you how I assemble each row and or column on so I can quilt it. Now, I have also used the Hobbs fusible fleece, and it's very similar to the method that I'm doing right now. But the only difference is instead of me stitching it down row by row, I'm fusing it down row by row and then putting rows of sashing. So this particular quilt has a lot of designs that are very wide, so it doesn't lend itself to sashing as much, because the sashing would need to be like 1 inch or 2 inches and it'll just cover up more things than anything else. So we're not going to do that. You kind of have to be adaptable when it comes to like the shirt and what you're doing with it. All right, so now that down, bring that up. Oh, Tori's awake already. She's sending me messages. Okay, so let me see. This is why I got confused last time, because I was starting from this side. There we go. All right. Okay. Sorry. I was messaging Tori back. She's working on her January bag pattern. Okay. Now that looks better. All right, that looks so much better. All right. Don't worry about these ripples. They will iron out, but you have to iron it from the other side because obviously this stuff is it's like paint and stuff, so you can't iron on top of that. You have to do something different. Okay, so the next one is this one. Okay, and then I remember this one has to go this direction, and then we're going to clip it so that the we take off some of the top of the white. Not too much, just enough to make it a little bit smaller because this one having 9 blocks instead of 8 does make a bit of a difference. Okay. Hello, peoples. Showing you guys how I make my t-shirt quilts. I find the serger is better than a straight stitch machine, just because sergers are made to either hem and or sew knit fabrics, so that's why. All right, so like that. Okay. And then this one is the second to last one. Okay, so it's gonna go like that, and I'm gonna bump it this way, and again, we're gonna get rid of some of that purple. Hello, hey Shannon. Hi Tori. Okay, so that looks like the same distance, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pin that, and then I'm gonna serge, and I'm just making sure that I don't see any of the print from the bottom one, the one that I'm cutting off, which I don't. My computer is not acting right. It's not letting me show comments or anything. Like I can't connect. It's so weird. It's always a good rule of thumb to always double check you have anything else under that foot. Okay, There we go. And we've got one last assembly, and that's the one that was the 3-piece one over here that we did earlier. I'm trying to make sure yeah, you guys can see good. All right, so now I've got this piece here, and I want to serge it right about there, so I could just kind of pinch it a little bit to get a crease there. Okay. If you need to get a ruler out and make sure it's straight, you can. I have one right over here if I wanted to just use it, but I can kind of eyeball that and see that that's pretty even. I'll mark it down just a tiny bit. Yeah, that looks pretty consistently even. Okay. Nope, don't have any of the design in there. That works out really well. I can't see any comments, unfortunately. Hello, Shanova. I don't know why the comments don't stay up on my phone, and then my laptop's not working properly. Lovely. Maybe it has something to do with the last live that I was on and I dropped everything. Maybe. Yeah, we haven't done kids karate in a while. All right, so that column is done. Look at that. We do that. See that? Boom. Okay, so this column is done. Okay, I'm going to take it and fold it on itself. And then just literally put it to the side and then do the next one. Okay, so that's how I do it. Now what I'm going to do now, okay, now that this one's nice and sewn up, I'm going to put it to the side. Tuck this over. Like that. All right, this one's done. I know it's done because I could see the serge edges. And then over here, I have my pile. Hold on. Over here, I have my pile of the rest of the rows. So rows 2, 3, 4, and 5 is there. So this is gonna make a really good like full size or maybe an over full sized quilt because it's pretty big. All right, so let me show you guys over here on the other table. I'll switch you guys over really fast. And let me get the camera angle first and then I can switch you guys over here. All right. Sorry guys, I'm on the struggle bus today. All right, quick second and let me jump you guys over. And this one should not take as long, so I really don't need my I don't need it plugged in. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. There's my beautiful sewing station. All right. So you guys can kind of see my batting and everything right there. Okay, good. You guys can see the batting. And Luna's toys. Luna's toys are everywhere. Okay, so here's my batting. And this is an extra loft batting, polyester. The cotton one shrinks a lot, so I don't like it with t-shirt quilts. I like the 80-20 Hobbs because it's fusible, or at least I make sure to get the fusible one, but this is just my backup to it because unfortunately I ran out of Hobbs and it was on back order, so I couldn't get any. In case you guys didn't see the video that I did last week, this is my template. So see, this is what I would consider the full square. And then I'm going to try to show you a half. There we go. And then these two are considered halves. So this was the front of the shirt and this was the back of the shirt that they wanted. And so then this is my half. So two halves make one full block. And that's accounting for the seam allowance in there. Okay, so those are my templates for that. I'm talking with my template lady and seeing if we can't get some of those on the website. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my first row. Okay, so this is my first row. These are my other rows. I'm gonna hold that to the side for just a second. Okay, so these are serged. See how I've already serged them? See, in the back, so you can kind of see. This here is where I stitched on applique. So instead of this having be a completely different block, because it was a lot of dead space in it, I just appliqued on. Same thing with this one here. I appliqued on, so you can see in the back. All right, so I have lines. Oh, that is two of them. Okay. I have lines on my batting, and I made my lines the length of each of these so that I can line this up. Okay, I don't like to quite put it all the way at the edge, but just enough to go like so, and then I'm going to clip it in place. So you're probably thinking to yourself, Sandra, you're crazy. Where's your backing? All right, so t-shirts have a tendency to stretch. If you put your batting on the back, it's just gonna ripple. So what I find the way to do this to make it so the t-shirt doesn't have any interfacing on the back, so it still feels soft and comfy, is that I just sew it onto the batting first and then do my quilting with the backing. So I'm going to be sewing in the ditch with all of this. I need to make sure that these are not in the way so that way I can. All right, so I'm just taking my safety pins and going across on the line. Oh, I did my lines the wrong way. I should have done it this way. Oh well. See, I told you guys I did homework ahead of time, and not really. Obviously, I didn't because it's the wrong way. I was actually doing it while we were doing Bible study, so I didn't have the stuff right there next to me. All right, so I'm going to unclip this and put it the other direction. So it's a rectangle, so one side is longer than the other. So I'm going to put it this way. Okay. Put this back down. You're going to make sure that it's going the right direction. This is the top. That is the bottom. This is the top. That is the bottom. Dum, 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 dum. All right. Let me double check everything looks good before I start clipping. Yep. Much better. All right, so I'm gonna start clipping. So what I like to do when I'm clipping is to make sure everything is nice and down. So the only difference between this one, this particular batting, and the fusible one is that I just put a pressing cloth on top of this and then I fuse it. So instead of me doing the top stitching on top of it with just the batting, it skips a step, but it's pretty much the same. I like to put 2 pins at the corners. Okay, again, make sure everything's nice and smooth. I'm doing this on my tiny table so you guys can see how I do it, but normally I would do it on my big cutting table in the back. My huge, like 6-foot table. But I'm doing it for here for you guys, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm just doing it little by little, making sure everything is nice and smooth. It doesn't really matter where you put your pins as long as they're out of the seam allowance, because I'm going to go through here. And so, all right, move it over again. I can probably grab my other phone now and go ahead and start seeing if I see any comments or questions now that my daughter's done with her singing lesson. Okie dokie. Right, there we are. Okay, so hopefully I can see comments. Hello, hello. How did the unpicking go yesterday? I cut myself a couple times, but other than that, Miss Tori, it went pretty well. The other one is ready to get sandwiched. I just jumped on, where did you get your t-shirt templates from, if you don't mind me sharing? So I got it from Leslie from Jolie Lee Creations. I sent her my files that I created for the templates, and she made them for me. And I love the glitter ones. Sometimes it's a little hard to see past the glitter, but it's not so bad. Okay, so the biggest thing is just to continue to make sure that everything is smooth. I'm not worried about this just yet. I will in just a minute. Okay, so I did that. Okay. Yes, Leslie is incredibly nice. She is amazing. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch at the top. Okay. After I've stitched down the top, then I'm going to stitch down the sides. I do the last, the front and end side, back downs last. And then after I've sewn it, then I can then pin on the next one onto this. So let me get this to the sewing table and then move things around over here. And then I'll show you what it looks like when we are done. Hold on. I gotta put this back in order because if I don't put it back in order, it's gonna mess me up. I always take a picture of the layout before I do anything else. And send it to the client for their approval of the layout. So that way, in case they want to change something or say, okay, I don't like these shirts next to each other, can you change them? They'll do that. 99% of the time, they don't ask you to do that. They like what I've done, and they go for it. All right, so I'm gonna turn off I'm just trying to move my serger real fast. Okay. All right, let me turn on my machine. Okay. I'm gonna grab you guys and the quilts just for a second. All right, hopefully you guys can see that. I may need to actually change you guys from one tripod to the other, and then look away, look away. Hi, Lynette. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see me? Yeah? I left my phone on the other side. That's okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I should have pinned the rest of this back down here. So let me do that so that it's not all in the way. So what I mean by that, you go over there. Sorry. Okay, let me move you guys back just a tiny bit. There we go. All right. So what I mean by that is I'm just going to go from this edge down here. And remember how I had to unroll it before when I had it pinned? All I gotta do is just roll it back up. Oops, sorry guys. Keep bumping you. This is a lot harder to do when you're on a live. You've got so much boot batting. Okay. Go like that. Go like that. And just keep rolling it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it just needs to get rolled up enough so that it's out of the way. And this is flat. You want to make sure this area here is flat. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll that. And I'm going to get a safety pin. Okay. Oh, sorry. That gravity helped me a little bit here. This would have been so much easier if I remembered to do this while I was at the table. But I didn't remember. It's like I go live and then my brain like just stops working. Do you guys feel like that too? Sometimes? Well, for the ones who go live. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch from this side all the way to the other side. Now, again, I gotta make sure that it's nice and flat. Okay, so it's nice and smooth and flat. I think I'm gonna put another pin right here just because of gravity, just for the start of it. All right, so let me thread my machine, and you guys are probably thinking like, where's the thread? In my hand. You can't see it? Neither can I. So I have invisible thread for this process. Sorry, guys. But only for the top. The bobbin is totally okay. This is just an invisible stitch that nobody can see unless you're a seamstress and you know what stitches look like. All right, I'm putting it on a basting stitch length. I'll go ahead and hold it and go for it. Now, I'm going to try to stay as close to the edge as possible. Again, making sure that everything is nice and smooth. Sometimes the shirts want to curl up on you a little bit. You just have to keep your finger down and make sure it's behaving. All right. So now this is why we do all this rolling here. And it doesn't help that I have the serger at the end of my table. All right, so nice and smooth. And this is why I have the line when I drew the lines before, so that way I can like literally, you see how I go like this and it's bunching? So that's when you start taking pins out and you make sure it's not bunching, because I'm gonna have to shift it. But in the shifting process, see that? How I just kind of like laid it down? It happens because this is a stretchy material. I've loosened my pressure on my presser foot as well, just so that it's not dragging. It's almost like it's floating. Okay, and then right here, you got to make sure it's nice and flat. Like back here is also nice and flat. The jersey didn't stretch as much. It's usually this soft one that really stretches. I'm trying to clip these so I don't stab myself. Hence the reason for a safety pin. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and stretch this. Grab it. Okay, just make sure it's nice and smooth. I'm smoothing every which way, pushing the batting and smoothing as I go. Pushing and smoothing as I go. It's a lot harder to do when you have a serger at the end of your table. Okay, so now I can tell, let me take this one off because that one is really just pulling on everything. Yeah, that's better. I can tell right here that if I go with this line, I'm still going to be within the seam. See that? Just want to make sure everything looks good. Everything is smooth. You want smooth. He's a smooth operator. Clip it. And I just ran out of bobbin, which is awesome because I actually have a bobbin already wound up. So, yeah. Okay. Grab the clear thread, pop it up, So you may be asking yourself, where do you buy clear thread, right? So this is the spool right here of clear thread. And it's a text 8 natural. I think American Thread Inc. in Mount Holly, North Carolina. It's like a local shop. Well, Mount Airy is like towards the coast, but it's a shop that has different type of things like that. This is actually like more for dressmaking when you're doing lace work and things like that, but you can use it for cottons and stuff. Everyone needs quality downtime. What happened? What happened with quality downtime? Hold on. I'm going to push you guys this way just a second because I need to get my phone. So see if you guys can kind of see. You can kind of see the stitches, but you can't see the stitches, if that makes sense. Shanae, you're cuddled up with Loki. Okay. So let's do that. So you guys can get a little further away because it's such a big quilt. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do down the length. All right. So this is when things start falling everywhere. But again, this is why we don't do it with the backing, because it's just almost impossible to do it with the backing. Everybody needs quality downtime. Yes, everybody does need quality downtime. All right, so over here, I need to make sure that this is smooth. So actually, let me pull it this direction. It's like wrestling with cats. This is so much easier when I have my big table. Okay, so what I want to do is just make sure that this is laying properly straight, right? And then I can clip it, because I don't want it coming to an angle and then this here is all of a sudden it's not working for it anymore. And I'm like, no. So this is where I would take it to the big table, spread it out again, put the pins down, put the, do all that lovely stuff. But because I'm doing a live, it's really hard for me to go back and forth without you guys having some kind of motion sickness. One day I'm going to figure out how to do it where I can have multiple cameras, and then I could just like click a button and it goes to the second view, so that when I walk over to the cutting table, you guys come with me seamlessly. One day I'll be there. When I got up, I really should have just moved the serger. I was trying to be cute yesterday and do the backing and the batting all at once with the t-shirt, and that's why I had to unpick it all. And I was actually talking to Tori when I was like, it didn't work. I have to unpick it. Okay. Lay it flat. Flat, flat, flat. Flat. I keep going in my skull bolt to get safety pins because I'm so used to getting clips, not safety pins. It's out of habit. All right, so let's see here. smooth it out. So I felt a bump underneath, and all I had to do was pull on the batting, and the bump went away. Bumpity bump bump bumpity bump bump. Whew. Okay. The struggle is real. And then I have these little tiny T-Rex arms. Yeah. That helps. Okay, so now we're back to the beginning, and you see how everything is still nice and smooth here, right? Awesome. Awesome sauce. Oh, when I figure out the camera situation, yeah, I know, right? I will let you know. Hold on, let me get off of the table. Sorry, guys. You see my big head. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Saw my big head there for a little while. Oopsies. I'm trying to plug it in so that it doesn't go dead. All right. Whew, I think StreamYard has something like that, but I have to kind of like play with it. All right. So now we're going to pull it all to the side. Okay. Continue to make sure everything is straight. Everything is smooth. Okay. And then just go like that. And then you could literally sew on either side or just down the ditch. I'm just going to go down the side because it's clear thread. So why not? And I'm really making sure to like, see how it's wrinkled right now, but if I spread it, it's nice. Okay. All right. Take it off and do the next one. Okay. Now this is when you're going to need to tuck your sides because all of it eventually is going to be underneath inside the throat. I'll just kind of roll this portion as you go. Did you come unthreaded? No. Okay. That's the only bad thing about clear thread is you can't see if it comes unthreaded until after you've stitched and you're like, it didn't stitch. Yeah, it's stitching. Okay. Okay, and you see how that's kind of bunching up there? Again, you just release it. Because for some reason, it just wants to do that, and that's okay. As long as I pull on both this sides like that, it doesn't seem to get longer or anything. It's okay. All right. I've got to try to get to Joann's today to get backing for this quilt and the other quilt that I just showed you guys how to do just a couple of piecing pieces with. Those two quilts need to go. I want to finish them by Monday. But if I can get them done by Friday, even better. Even better if I can get it done by Friday. Okay, nice and smooth. Still have my thread in. Perfect. This is getting to be troublesome with the cord here, so cord, go bye-byes. There we go. Okay, so nice and smooth. Again, big jazz hands. Big jazz hands. Thread it. There we go. Clip. Clip. Hey, love. I'm still on. Huh?
Is it okay?
Oh, all right. Yes?
Nothing.
Okay.
Can we move in here because she's getting tired and can I just come set her free?
Yes, sweetheart.
Because she's actually getting tired.
Okay. All right. Jazz hands. I'm just smoothing it. I'm not stretching it. So there's a big difference between stretching, because you say it's so you can start seeing the seam, and just making it flat. Perfect. Okay, let's do this last one on this side, and then do the last one on the other side. I always like to do these pieces last, just to make sure that everything is smoothed out before I do anything. Let me do another one on this side. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Go on in, babies. Go in.
Oh, she almost went in. That was the first time that she almost went in by herself. I don't want to choke her.
She goes in by herself. She'll like literally go in there and take a nap when she's tired. Or she'll just grab the blanket and pull it out here.
Because she was tired inside the other room.
Yeah.
Like, she was just laying down while I was just, like, doing my D&D stuff. She
Huh.
was just laying down. So, I'll be right back.
Yeah, but now Sierra's in here, so she wants to play. The sun's awake, and I'm awake, so I must play. All right. Okay, so there's that process. Now I'm going to show you the next process. And I will try to do my best. I know, right?
Oh, he wasn't allowed to eat in here.
Yeah, he's not. You're not allowed to eat in here anymore, sweetheart, remember?
But this is
It's still food.
my bag.
It's still food.
It has nothing to do whether it's my food or your food. It has to do with the fact that you leave stuff all the way all the time.
She's eating her foot.
She's eating your foot?
No, she's eating her foot.
Oh yeah, she does that sometimes. All right, so let me move over here. Put that down like so. And Luna is automatically attacking the batting. Okay, take these pins off.
My phone. No.
I can take these pins off now too. And I'm gonna need them, so I don't want to go too far with them. Okay, so now that you see how it's nice and smooth, right? The down here is nice and smooth. Now we're gonna get our next row. So it'll go like this. So I'm gonna put it on top, like so. So now it's probably more like quilt as you go. kind of thing. Because now that bottom one can't shift because I've gone down. So really all I'm doing is just, I'm going to sew these two together straight, and then Luna. She's trying to eat a box. Luna. Poor babies.
Luna, come here, honey.
Okay, and all I'm making sure is that this is straight. Nothing else really matters. Do you need me to move it?
Just stay over here.
Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, so now we do the next one. Make sure those line up. What happens up here doesn't really matter as long as down here it's where it needs to be. You gotta make sure you go through all the layers. Okay? Missy. Okay, just like that. Okay. And because I used my template, these are all the same size. So unless I did something really crazy when I was serging them together, these will intersect. But then that's why these are rows and not columns. The other one is a column because the columns are all going to line up. But then we don't have to worry about any seams nesting on the sides. I think so, yeah. She likes to get rubbed while she plays. For sure. I need that one. All right, so put that down. Nesting that up. Okay, and then one last one over here on this side. Well, two more. See, I'm just laying it right on top of each other. It should line up really nicely. We're not doing any stretching. The fabric's stretchy, yes, but we're not trying to encourage it to stretch.
Hey, no, that's my shoe. No, that's my shoe. No, that's my shoe. That's my shoe. No.
There we go. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and roll this up better so that I can actually get it on and off the sewing table without any problems. Because why not? Okay. Let's roll this. So, oops. Okay. It's almost like folding a quilt by yourself, or folding the sheets. You know, these really big sheets that you have on your beds, comforter or whatever. And you're trying to fold it up, put it away, and no one's there to help you. It's kind of like that.
I have a question. What are posters?
What are posters?
Yeah.
Posters are like prints. but they don't have like a picture of something, but it's a print, so it's usually like on a glossy paper. And
Goodness, baby, you're shaking.
why is she shaking?
I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty warm. Anyway, you were saying?
Oh, I lost my track.
Posters, they're glossy.
It's just really big pictures that are glossy that you can hang up on walls.
Got it. Okay. You just, like, I was gonna say you just glue them to a wall, but you don't glue them.
No, usually you tape them or you put push pins in them.
Oh.
All right, so now I've got that wrapped up the right way. Let's go back over to the sewing table. All right. Let me move my serger.
It's a very small thing.
Oops.
Yeah,
I know it is. It's small, but it's powerful. It's small, but mighty. Like me.
yeah.
Okay. Geronimo! Okay. Alright, I'm gonna pitch you guys this way so you guys can see what I'm doing from the side view. Okay. Right. So now it's easier to make this smooth because I don't have as much of it dragging. Right? So just gonna grab that, put it under, make sure everything lines up. Bam. Now again, I'm not too worried about what's happening over here, as long as it's smooth. And then this is where I'm stitching. And a basic stitch length is fine. He has returned. Okay, so this is where it's going to want to push because it's much thicker. So I'm going to lift my foot up a little bit more. And if you have a stiletto or a seam ripper or something to help you kind of like just hold the fabric in place and sew it, like push it underneath so that it's not stretching. The other way you could do this is having a cover stitch machine. It would be a much wider seam, and you were using a lot more thread.
Luna, no! No, that's a trash can. No.
So you're fighting with Luna.
No. You have toys. You make you toys. No.
No. Take her outside, please, because she's probably just antsy and needs to get some energy out. So go do that, Junior and Sierra. Yep. So it's your turn together. Sierra took her out while you were in piano. So it's both of y'all's turn together. She needs to play and get some energy out. Any questions? Nope. Okay. Just want to make sure. So you see how there's a couple of little things here and there, but it's not like really noticeable. Like I said, they're both the same size. They're both the same size, so they shouldn't, this top one should not be longer than the one underneath. It just happens with the amount of thickness. Tuck in my chicken wings. Those will be my arms. Okay, we're getting to the end here. And this is also why I had the lines on the other side. It just makes it easier when you first get started doing it to keep it all on the straight line, because it's a stretchy fabric. It'll stretch wherever you put it, whether it's straight or not. Okay. All right, so now we've done that. All right, let's take these clips off. They're not going to go far because we need them for the next piece. Any questions so far? My cat named Loki is plopped on my belly and won't let me up. She's the boss, and I'm here to obey. Yeah. Luna loves laying on my feet, but she's like sat on the machine pedal a couple of times and it starts going. Luckily, I'm not anywhere near it because I'm very aware of it when she's close to it. But when I just turn it off now when I'm not using it and she's lying around, because she likes to lay on my feet. And usually when she comes to lay on my feet, it's because she's tired. Now, when she starts biting my feet, then I know. Then I know she's actually wanting to play. So when she's biting on the kids and stuff, I tell them that's her way of playing and she wants to play. I was up with her at 6 o'clock this morning. I left my house at 6:30 and I've been here since 6:30. But I'm leaving at 4 o'clock because I have to go to Joanne's and then I have to take my son to his practice. All right, let's see. Where is she? Oh, she's on the hook? Okay. Ooh.
That wasn't me.
That was rough. All right, I'm pinning it again. What?
Off the door.
Okay. No, I will not need that table again. This is the last step before I show them how it looks once it's all done. Because like I said, I did homework and I actually pre-did a lot of this stuff ahead of time so that way I can show you guys what it looks like and how to do the next step. You would think I got my mess together. Not really. What are you looking for, Sierra? Is there an outlet for you?
I don't need an outlet.
Oh, okay.
Brought my own just in case.
No, I didn't say a cord. I said an outlet.
No,
Like-
I brought my own cord. I knew there was an outlet over here.
Okay.
I brought my own cord.
Let me bring this back just a little bit. Okay, so now that we've done that, now we're going to push this down. And then look at that. That's nice and sewn down, and it is not moving anywhere. So when we start stitching on this again, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not stretching. It's not doing any of that stuff. So put it on. Oh, I thought I had stretched it out enough, but I guess not. Bam. Oh, this one's only 4 rows. Yeah, this is 5 by 4. So 5 columns, 4 rows is this one. The other one is ginormous. It's twice the size of this one. This is this client's 4th and 5th t-shirt quilt with me. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pin it like so. Make it nice and flat and pin it again. Can you guys see that? No. You can't see that. There you go. Can you see that now? Yep, you can. Okay. Okay, make it nice and flat. Push it over. I make it flat underneath me too, that helps. Nice and flat. What is she doing? She's clicking on something. You hear it? No? Must just be me. Alright, I'm making sure that this is nice and smooth down this way too, because when I go to stitch it down, if it's not all the way down that it can go, it's gonna stretch it, so might as well. Yeah, that's a little loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey. Okay. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Go back and do the centers here in a second, but there we go. We got some thread guts sticking out. All right, hold on here, because this one is really kind of shifty. There we go. I would rather unpin and repin several times than unpick, because the pinning at least is not as involved as taking out all the stitches. So just double check and triple check. There we go. Oops. So this one here, I can tell has been worn a lot because it is super, super, super thin and extremely stretchy. Like, it is really stretchy. Okay. Just double check everything. Looks good. Okay. Somebody here?
I think it was just on the web.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to see it. Check. Well, not really. Okay.
I can't see anybody either. Okay. There we go. So now we're going to repeat the same process that we did with the first one. Is we are going to stitch down and then stitch this down. So we'll stitch from here down and then stitch. You could do a top stitch right here if you wanted to, but there's not really a necessity for it because we've already stitched it onto the batting. So just to help you guys out, like, you don't have to, but you can if you want to. So once you've done that, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're finished putting it all together. Okay, so let's say we did all that. I'm going to show you what it looks like because I did homework. Ha ha ha. Okay. Boom. And so this is what it looks like. You see how it kind of like wants to shrink, like shrivel up a little bit. Once we put the backing on it, it's not going to want to do that anymore. But this first process of doing the shirt onto the batting helps make it all one piece. It secures it so it's not overly, like, I can't stretch that but so much. It's as far as it's going to stretch. But then it'll look nice and taut and pretty when we go to put it on the backing, right? So that's how it looks from row to row. And I did do top stitching on these. Like I said, it's just your preference on whether you want a top stitch or not. A lot of these were very old, like this one's very thin and old, so I did that to this one. But yeah, so that's it. Look, that's the bottom. You tack down the bottom just like you did with the top. Then you're gonna take out your rollies or tape or however you do your backing and put it all together. I like the method of laying it out with the tape first, then taping this onto two different, like each end onto the rolly bars, and then rolling them in together and having that as I quilt it, so that way everything stays nice and tight. All right, guys, that's how I do it. So after putting it on the backing, it's exactly the same way you would do any other free motion quilting on the long arm or on your straight stitch machine, just in the ditch. Just depends. Luna is temperamental right now, so we are going to go ahead and head out because she is having a temper tantrum today. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I come on. I really appreciate all of you and what you do for me. And until next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Bye.